Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today, I'm going to take a look at Alphacore #1 by Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. This is from the Ripperverse. Okay, I will start with my disclaimers. First off, I'm Chuck Dixon's buddy. I didn't make that claim. Chuck Dixon did. On one of his Wednesday Ask Chuck Dixons, I submitted a letter, and he said, "This is from my buddy John, John Boer from John's Long Box." So keep that in consideration. I've had conversations with Chuck Dixon. I love Chuck Dixon. I'm a Chuck Dixon fanboy. So I just want to be totally transparent. Also, I want to say I didn't particularly like Isom. I don't want to get into it. It seems to be a divisive topic these days. I'm allowed to not like comics and like comics by anybody. I'm an individual. So I just didn't particularly like Isom. Also, full disclosure, Eric July will be coming on my channel in a few weeks. So that should be interesting considering I didn't particularly like his comic. No ill will. I don't have any feelings one way or another towards anybody. I'm here to talk about comics. Full disclosure over. Okay, so this is Chuck Dixon, who you all know I'm a Chuck Dixon fanboy, and Joe Bennett. I'm not going to say I'm a fanboy. To me, fanboy means I actively go out of my way to get their stuff. Joe Bennett, I like Joe Bennett. He's a competent superhero comic book artist. I enjoy his artwork. But if I see his name on a comic, it's not like, oh my God, I got to go get Joe Bennett. Like George Perez, if he's doing a comic book, I buy it. Well, I mean, he passed on, but you get my point. Walt Simonson, whatever. But I am a fan of Joe Bennett. I just wouldn't consider myself a fanboy. Okay, so now I hope I made myself as clear as possible. This I could do without. This just sounds like a little bit preachy. And here we have an opening page. This is Brian Solari, Ingrid Valdez, and Braxwell. These are the three extents. Name that irks me. It irks me. Or what does he say? This tasks me. I just don't like that name. But you know what? I gotta say, as a person writing my own comic, it's tough to come up with new and interesting terms for superheroes and stuff like that. So here's the credits: Chuck Dixon, Joe Bennett, a whole bunch of inkers, the colorist, and Eric Weathers, and blah, 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 and the indicia. So this is 2023, meaning this is brand new, meaning I'm going to invoke my I do not show off the entire comic book because it's brand new. I'm not a pirate website. You know, I'm just putting in the tip, okay, to be crude. So here we have, look at the splash page. Okay, I like the colors. The lettering is fine, you know, Texas Trust. It's a good establishing shot. Here we have a villain, and you can see he's got like a bomb pack and everything. And this poor woman, you know, she's got groceries and everything like that. And again, I'm going to skip through the pages. Look at this. Establishing. I know the whole 3D assets thing. Is this 3D assets? I don't know. But the coloring is fine. The action is fine. You know, I'm not an artist. This looks fine to me. I'm flattering myself, calling myself a writer, but here we go. So it's a good old-fashioned bank robbery, a standoff, and look at this pose. Here we have the superhero. I'm a sucker for that. He's a classic-looking superhero. He's got the, you know, the high and tight haircut. He's bulletproof. He's got the cape. I'm in. I'm a sucker for this, you know. And what does he do? He grabs the guy away and tosses him into the pool. He makes threatening gestures, you know, but you know, he's being intimidating, and you know, he throws the guy in the pool, and then he throws the bomb up the air, and this guy's like, why did the bomb blow up? So I'm skipping around again because it's a new comic. I'm not a pirate website. This is Ingrid Valdez, an interesting name. Her first name Ingrid, and then Valdez. I'd never met you know, anybody with Valdez and Ingrid before, so I'm interested to learn more about her background. That's Brian Solaris. I thought Solaris was like a superhero name, but apparently that's a name. So they don't have superhero names, which I'm mixed about. I believe that a superhero name is the focus of the superhero. You know, when I say to you Batman, you immediately know dark, mystery, night, you know. If I say Superman, you know power, you know, well, these days you also know hope and glory, but I'm talking about back in like 1938 when I said Superman. You knew that he was, you know, more than human, that he was, you know, powerful and mighty and everything. So again, I'm of mixed opinions where they're not when super beings don't have superhero names. But that's the whole point of this. They don't want to be considered superheroes. She especially doesn't like it. She does, they kind of joke with her like you should get a supercar and stuff like that, and she gets annoyed. She is a cop. Her father was a cop. She's a cop. She's now a detective. And she has powers. Now, they didn't go into the origins, which I kind of like. Save the origins from where we're a little bit more invested into the characters. Because, let's face it, if you don't like the character, learning their origin is a chore, So I do like this way that Chuck is going. Get us into the action. Let us decide whether or not we like the characters. And we'll learn about their origins later. I think it's good. And then, so... she doesn't want to be, so they don't want to have superhero names, but yet he has a cape. So that sounds like it should be a criticism, but I think I know where Chuck is going. He is, I get he's brash, he's ex-military, he's tough, and I'm holding on to this page for a bit because I want to talk about this, and then I'm only probably going to go a couple more pages, and then I'll stop. But I kind of like this. Solaris, he's torn. He's a military guy. He respects the chain of command. He joined the police force after he left the military because he wants to feel that he's making a difference, especially after he got the superpowers. I think I might be mistaken on that, and I think he is a good guy. I bet you when they talk about his past, he was a comic book kid. He liked superheroes, and he fancies himself a superhero. And I get the feeling that he's wearing the cape, not so much as like, hey, check me out, I'm a superhero, but kind of like, I'm a superhero. I have to hold myself to a certain standard. So he, make no mistake, he's my favorite so far out of the three. Braxwell is my least favorite. Why? Because he got the least page time. I don't know much about him, but I do like her. She wants to be a good cop, and she's sensitive about the fact that she has powers because they call it freaks. So a couple of people were nice to her, and she took it as like mocking term because, again, she's super sensitive, and super sensitive people tend to attack first rather than allow themselves to get hurt. So here we have Galvin. They go on a routine warrant search, and the guy had electrical powers, so they call in the Alphacore. And look at this freak guy over here with electrical powers. Now, this is me being total nitpicky because if you don't know, I am an electrician in my job. So he's, doing all the electrical stuff. Again, the art is fine. The coloring is really good. The lettering is fine, This is nitpicky stuff that drives me crazy. Why is there just a black line over here, but over here there's a gutter? I don't know why you would do that, because, when you casually glance at this, it's easy to see that this is a panel, this is a panel, but you'll go over here and it almost looks like it's the same panel. That kind of stuff drives me crazy. Be consistent in the page. So here we have Braxwell just comes down, and, he seems to be like the tank. They didn't really explain their powers yet. They just kind of showed. So what I'm seeing of him is like he's super strong and invulnerable. So he's like more of a Hulk, whereas Solaris is more of a Superman. And he just kicks, the spine is really good. So they spray right over here. they hose him down, and that creates a short circuit, and it takes him out. It's the electrical trope. All the way from Electro in Amazing Spider-Man, what was that, like less than issue 10, I don't remember the exact number, to Static Shock, to, there's 2 electrical villains that Batman took out doing the same thing. And to me, this just drives me nuts because it's established. Look, here's the water coming out of the ground. He's laying on the ground and he's barefoot. What does a short circuit mean? It means it's a shorter circuit than the electricity is already going on. Now, electricity travels from the source, which would be Galvin, the bad guy, to ground. Okay, and it's already established that he's barefoot and he's standing on the ground. So the shortest circuit is already his foot to the ground. Spraying water on him does not make it a shorter circuit. So nothing should happen. The only thing that should happen is this water gets electrified, and all of these people should have been killed or hurt. But I know it's a comic book trope, but I think this, because the whole conflict of the comic is, of course, there's bad guys doing bad guy things. I'm not giving it away because it's a new comic, But the regular police force versus the superhero police force. I think that's a great premise. They look at them as we don't need you, and then some of the publics are like, oh, the only reason why we have supervillains now is because we have superheroes. You know, which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. This would have been a perfect situation to set up more of trouble. They squirt him with the water, and then, you know, the regular cop squirted him with the water. And then the superhero's like, no! And boom, everybody but the superheroes get killed or maimed or hurt. And then this poor innocent woman gets hurt. And then people just like, that's why we need superheroes. You know, you need to study this stuff. You know, the superheroes survived this. But you know, already people are telling me, that I was telling friends about it, and already they're laughing at me that I'm nitpicking. And I just want to tell is, you know, I don't know, because that seems to be the controversy. 3DS, that doesn't look like 3DS. It's, to me, it would be better. But you know, all right. But I do like the art. I do like the story. And spoiler alert, I did like the comic. You know, so I know that it's fashionable. It's cool to you know, whatever, to be drama farming, but I liked it. It was competently written. The characters were interesting. You know, the way they defeated other bad guys, like the way they defeated this guy was scientifically sound. And I know that sounds hokey to say scientifically sound in a superhero comic book. I get it. And remember, the purpose of a comic book is to be believable, not realistic. So I understand that. So this isn't a deal breaker for me. It's just a comic book trope. You know, it's like getting spider powers from radioactivity instead of cancer powers. You know, but there you go. I liked Alphacore. It was good. I'll probably pick up issue number 2, and that's the purpose of the comic book. Each comic book is supposed to get you to want to get the next one, and it worked. So there you go. That's my I don't want to say review, but I guess it is a review. I say showcase. This is my showcase of Alphacore number 1. Again, it's a big, thick book, and I'm not showing the whole thing because that's my personal policy. Yeah, the comic has to be like 5 years old or so before I show the whole thing, because this is on sale now. You know, I'm not a pirate website. So thanks a lot. I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.